Thursday night. Yeah.
Yeah, because you're almost half a day ahead.
Yeah, we start the time in this world, It all starts with us. I was trying to let Rory in. I see Rory Douglas also early for him. I think it's 5 o'clock there. Let him in.
Okay. He's in Minnesota, eh?
He's in Michigan.
Michigan, that's right. Yeah, Michigan.
Rory, are you there? View lobby. Okay, hang on. View lobby. Admit all. Okay, there we go.
He's in Alma, Michigan.
Hi everyone. Rory, Peter, thanks for joining us.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
We all made it. Graham's there at the lower left of my screen. And
Okay.
And we're just waiting for the other guys to join. I'm going to try and record this session. We'll check with everyone if they're happy with that, and then we'll send everyone a copy. Yeah.
Are my visuals showing up?
Sorry.
Yeah, I can see you already.
Okay.
Yeah. You're looking good.
Thank you.
He looks a little bit younger than me.
Yeah.
A little. We're all looking a bit older, I would say.
Yes.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Alex Kingwell.
Rory, I'm in North Dakota, so I'm not. I'm just an hour
Alex.
ahead of you, Rory.
Okay.
Hello, Alex. How are you? Where's all the hair gone, mate?
It's gone to the back,
It's a Kingwell thing, eh?
We're just waiting for a few others to join.
Are you, Rory?
Sorry?
I had once had brown hair, but it's somehow changed colour.
Mine is changing already, too.
I might sort of, I'm not that computer literate, okay, so if I get lost somewhere in between, just be patient, I'll try and get back.
Okay, but you all know that there's 2 meetings now. It's because this limited version of Teams only allows us to go for 60 minutes. So Ashley's going to call an adjournment, and then we join the second one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Zoom is much the same. Zoom, the free version of Zoom is the same thing. You also add the limited time.
Yeah. Just want to see someone's flashing up. Yeah, Leon. Oh, here we go. Leon Rousseau. Hello, Leon.
Hello, who's that?
It's Dean, yeah. There we are. We can see you now. We can see you now. The screen is filling up.
Okay. Hi, everyone.
Hi, Leon.
How are you?
No, we're good. It's 9 o'clock at night here, so I've got the privilege of being able to sit here with a glass of red. I'll propose a toast later. So obviously you guys are on the coffee and the hot chocolate and other things. Hello, Peter. Good to see you.
How you doing?
It's all good. Yeah, a little bit early for my whiskey at 11 o'clock in the morning. Okay.
Bit early. You got to wait for the Boeing to cross.
Well, I can make it cross.
I'm going to let Ashley in because he's set up at the school. He's had someone help him there in the lab, the computer lab. So that's where the rest of them are. Okay. So I'm just going to let him in. Ashley, can you hear us? Ashley?
I see typical not listening.
We can see you. And we can hear. Can you hear us? And there's Andy as well. Andy, you're on mute. Come off mute. There's a, okay, we'll just bear with them while they sort out their technical issues. Hi, Andy. You've got your sound on now.
Can you guys hear us
We can hear you. But we don't recognize a bunch of old buggers in the background there. Who are they?
Yes, old guys. John Haysom. Guys, we'll move forward and you can see us.
Yes.
He's on his way. Okay. He's just going to the necessity.
Do the business. Yeah. Okay.
So I'm going to start. John Haysom.
John, is that you? I wondered who that old bugger was. Reggie Raybock is joining. I'm just going to let him in.
You must admit someone else. Okay, right.
Okay, Reggie. Where's Reggie? He should be.
There we are on the top left, sir. Just present yourself. Present yourself. Better give your name because
I am not wet.
Where did Reggie go? Because he was. I was waiting to let. I was clicking to let him in, but I don't see him.
Is it Leon?
Hi, Mark.
No, it's
That's Mark.
and Andy's there, Peter's there, Leon, yes, I didn't recognize him.
Alex, my goodness.
No, good thanks. I just got such a okay, so that's when we said there was
Mr. Whitehead.
So there's Alan Whitehead.
Hi, Alan.
He's the guy. He's the guy who caned us all in Standard 7. Ati did the caning, but you lined us up, got us lined up at the office.
Because you were bloody naughty.
No, we were noisy. We weren't naughty. We were noisy.
But Douglas must shift up his camera or shift down his camera because we can't see his face.
Graham.
Morning, Rory. Morning, Leon Rousseau. Morning, Peter. Man, my goodness. I remember him in the hospital days.
Yeah, I do.
Yes. Peter Goody. How's it, Peter? Yes.
All right, yourself, buddy. I was trying to remember all the Kingles, okay? And I couldn't remember Alex's name because Alex, you guys were about 3 or 4 brothers that used to be attending there.
Yeah, just sort of ahead of me was my cousin and his brother, which was Ronnie and Timothy.
Yeah, I recall Timothy somehow.
Yeah, and then
Was there another Timothy after you?
No, he was the only guy. And then I was the eldest of 4. Correct.
Okay.
Timothy drove the tractor for me. Mowing the fields. That was Timothy.
That's it.
Okay.
Morning, said good morning to Peter. Good morning, Andy Ifting. Alex Kingo, morning. And then Dean at the top. Morning to you, Dean.
Hello, Alan. Good to see you.
How's it, Dean?
Good to see you.
Very strict instructions. Okay, so how's it? And then we sit that we can then carry on.
How are you guys? James.
James Bosman.
Are they James?
Hello.
Yeah, another boss.
Yeah, that's another one. Yeah. 1, 2. There were millions of them. My knees.
Charles.
I'm gonna name tag in case I forget who I am.
Charles van Reenen. I'm remembering you swimming in the Muir Municipal Pool and doing like 100 lengths or something for a fundraiser.
I think it was 90 actually.
Okay. Close enough.
Okay, I remember.
Listen, where's Farmer Brown? Alan Whitehead.
Alan Whitehead's there?
No,
He was on before.
Yeah,
Is that old guy with the bliss? No, he's there.
Is that him coming with the joint?
Reggie,
How's it, Rich?
How's it, put? Yeah, how's it, guys? Lekker to see you all. Huh? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
That your face is there.
There's Miss Sasha. How are you?
Jonathan. Hi, Jonathan.
Greetings. I don't know who's talking to me though.
It's Rory.
Seeing all the pictures at
Rory,
once.
but Rory, only your head sticking out. You must move your screen a bit so we can see your face. No, other way around.
Yeah, that's.
Ah, there it is.
You know, you're looking. You know who you look like now.
Who?
Can't remember his name. He was the bad guy in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Morning, Jonathan.
See Alan Peterson, no?
Yeah, can't we just, if we do that, can't we enlarge the picture?
Okay, I can see the names now.
That full screen if I do that. Just hold on, guys. I just want to. There's Desmond Wood. Missed today's meeting.
Desmond Wood.
Is he with you guys in the room?
He says he can't. No. He was going to be here. It looks like he's got a bit of a heart problem today.
Oh, okay.
So we have to adjust the gallery so we can see all the cameras. I've only got 9 on my screen.
Okay, let's do gallery. And we'll go up to. I'll try and sort that out.
Go to view, go to gallery. You can go large gallery.
There we go.
It's still only 9.
Only 9. Okay.
Make it so that we've got more pictures in the gallery.
Gallery.
Is that Peter Mann I'm seeing down there in the bottom?
Yeah, we now have 12. We've got everyone on.
Is everyone there?
Okay, so we'll have to adjust our screen.
Wasn't Alan going to be on as well?
Alan Peterson.
Yeah. Peter Mann.
Alan.
Oh, we got Reggie on now. Where's Deswood then?
So if there you'll see Reggie and you should see Reggie and Alan Peterson. I don't know why we're not getting a full screen on our side.
Yeah, guys, if you just go to view,
View
go up
gallery.
to view,
Okay.
click on gallery.
View. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
That's why we wanted you here today, Rich. You know, that's why we were very. I was very disappointed.
You need somebody technical, hey? Yeah, click on view and then gallery.
Large gallery.
Large gallery, yeah.
And then change it to 16, yeah.
And then I go to gallery.
Select maximum size and you can have 16 there.
Where? Sorry, no. Where do I say that? I went to
On that
view.
gallery drop down,
Oh,
there's one that says select max gallery size.
Yes.
large gallery. It says large gallery.
Yeah, mine just says large gallery. That's it.
It's just below that.
And you go to more options.
Size. Okay. Select gallery size.
That's it, choose 16 there.
Select max gallery size.
This shows an indication of our age.
I don't realize now.
Illiterate. The Rich.
Oh,
Now we're almost, yes, we've got everyone now. Yes, okay.
Oh, you know what's nice? I went to gather mode preview and it puts us all in a classroom. It's quite cute. It's got like benches. That's
So Ashley,
the one that says
Ashley,
together-
you are
together
the
mode.
class
It's very
rep here,
nice.
and you are chairing this meeting. So, and you're the ex-military man, so you better call us to order here.
Now listen, I just wanted everyone
Attention.
Listen, guys, can I just get a bit of order? I've been given strict instructions by Dr. Muir, DJ. So firstly, welcome to all you guys, especially the guys coming in here at a horrible hour to be with us. Thanks a lot, and thanks for Dino for the support. And, I had a very nice teacher here who was helping me that we can get this set up as well. So that at least helps. Guys, before we start formally, I just want to ask that we just have a few moments of silence when we just think of some of our classmates and some of our teachers that have gone to higher service since we left Muir. So if I can first ask guys, if you can mute if you can at this stage, please. You know that if the dog barks or your wife comes charging in, that it's a bit quiet. That I then quickly read out the names. The teachers that have passed the higher service: Ati Marie, Tom Ferreira, Sydney Hart, Neil Hall, Mans Kemp, Boris as we knew him, MJ King of the Bounce, Mossy Miller, Hyla Slubber. And then from your primary school days that you guys might still know is Dave Cooper, Godfrey Stresso, and Willie Watson. Then our classmates in no specific order is Stuart or Saki van Sale, Timothy Kingwell, Raymond Coates, Philip Bugs Burrows, Robin Hockey Pidry, and then Michael or Mike St. Clair, who passed away, I think, the last of our group that left. So we will remember these guys, and as I say, I think forever they'll be part of our memories and our history as the class of 1974. And then, before we now get despondent, I'm going to ask Dino if he won't just give us a bit of feedback.
Okay, on the polls. On the polls.
Also heard now that of the teachers, Roy Simpson also passed away. He was our, what was it, accountancy master, I think, for 3 years. Right, then Dino is going to give us the results of the polls that he sent us. To say who were the good guys and who were the bad guys at Muir in our time. Yeah. So Dino, over to you.
Thank you. Yeah, we decided to do a fun poll, and some of you participated, some didn't. But the most, and we used the term badass, the most badass teacher. That one, the person who got the most votes there was Jonathan Osher. Now I wonder why, Jonathan, because you know the stories that were shared. There's one that stands out, and I think it was Ashley who shared that story about a particular battle that took place in a classroom, and the class was divided in two, and you were leading the charge on the one side, and then Bounce King walked in, and he looked at you and looked at everything going on, and he said, "I see that you're busy." And he walked out again. So that sticks out in our minds. It's a really good story, and well, that's a story that came from Ashley. But that's probably the reason why you won this award of the most badass teacher from back then.
Thanks, Dino.
Any guesses for the most badass fellow classmate from back then? Reggie, you won hands down, mate. You got the most votes, and I'm wondering why. Could it be the haircut that you gave Ati, where you had horns on the side here, which wasn't a very good haircut? Could it be that, or could it be something else? Could it be the lab experiment in Neil Hall's lab, where you and I think Lance Mine mixed a concoction of chemicals, all the wrong chemicals, and a plume of smoke went up? Could it be that? I'm not sure.
Dizzy Wood, yeah.
Was it Dizzy?
Thanks, guys. Yeah, no, those were the rebel days, and I suppose I'm still a bit of a rebel, but yeah, it was a fun time and a good memory.
Great. Then lastly, we've got James. James came through. James knows how to follow instructions. You see, he sent me an email and he said. Why he voted for which story was the best story in his mind based on what he read in the commemorative booklet. So James, I'm going to hand to you to announce which story it was that impressed you the most. It was a teacher's story, not a classmate story.
The teachers was who was it? Was Charles van Rienen.
Yes.
And Piet Klute, that when they went to Grahamstown in their youth.
Okay, it was Peter Swart, I think you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, it was a middle of the night story, and lots of noise outside of NC Dugmore House. Anyway, that's me, Ashley. I'll hand back to you. Those were the winners of the no awards, guys, but in spirit, you got these awards.
Right, round of applause.
We'll see what this be later. Yeah. Can I then ask guys that just for time's sake, not that we wanted, we've got an onion appointment at 1, but for time's sake that we to give each one about a 3 minutes just to, we've got some of your stories, but just to say how you are, where you are at this stage, and how it's going. So if we can start with the people that are from afar, and specifically then our teachers that are calling in from afar. Can I ask that we start there with, as I see them on the screen, with Rory, just to tell us for about 3 minutes how it's going, what's happening in his life at this stage.
You're asking me to speak first?
Yeah, yes.
Wow. I prepared this amazing speech, which had nothing to do with what you've just said. But anyway, I just want to thank Dean and the rest of the team for getting this together. It's amazing to me that after 50 years we can do this. I mean, modern technology is just amazing. I've actually had quite a journey over the last 18 months to 2 years. I went through a stretch of cancer treatment. I had a melanoma removed from my leg and had opted, instead of surgery, opted for what they call immunotherapy. So I would go in every 3 weeks for infusions, which of course messes up your whole system, and that explains my loss of brown hair and now a head of white hair. I was declared on the 5th of July last year. I was declared in remission, but as a result of those infusions, I actually suffered a stroke in December, on the 15th of December last year. And so the last 6 to 8 months has been a recovery time for me. I'm very thankful to God for the fact that I'm actually still vertical and able to get back to playing golf, which is something I was doing for years before. It was always too expensive to play golf in South Africa, but here in the US, golf is really cheap. We have lots of small golf courses all around the city. I'm now located in a small college town called Alma, and the college here is Alma College, where I actually, what was amazing was we were serving as associate pastors in Lansing for about 11 years, and then we felt the call to come to Alma, and 6 months after that call, Alma College called me and asked me to come and teach geography, that mysterious subject that most Americans know nothing about. And so for 14 years I taught geography at Alma College. Most of those students were only working at a level that you guys would have experienced in Standard 9 and Standard 10, because they had no background in geography. It's a non-subject in American education. That has always been my pet peeve here in the US, is that people know nothing about geography. Americans don't look outside of their country because it's so big. They sort of imagine, when they talk about a state, they're talking about Arizona or Texas. They don't think about another country. So it's been a strange experience adjusting to living in America. But I have enjoyed it, and I'm believing that I'm going to have a much longer life than the cancer issue or the stroke issue. So thank you for the opportunity to share with you guys.
Thank you, Rory. Thanks for a great story, and we hope it goes well, mate. Then I must ask the enemy from Randstad, Peter, are you going to let's on the screen there for me?
Okay, guys, good morning, and thanks for the opportunity. I thought for those of you, we spent about 9 months together, so some of you might not remember the young man that arrived at Muir. So I thought I'll show you a little picture what the man I used to be, okay?
The longer in the purple suit.
Page boy hairstyle.
That was the lightie that arrived at Muir College. Outside baby's office there, okay? Although the next year I looked a little bit different when I started off until the old rebel at the bottom there, old John Osser, and I decided, bugger that, we're going to grow our hair again, okay? Much to Atti's dislike, but yeah, just one correction in my story there. I referred to Jody Roby, so I'll have to apologize to Jody. It wasn't Jody, it was Michael Sinclair. When I walked through the back door of the gym and I had a couple of words for Atti, and he just said to me, "Excuse me, sir, what was that?" Most of you probably won't realize when I arrived there, I was as much a pupil as you were. Okay, it's my first year of teaching. I wasn't much older than you guys, and I didn't realize what I didn't know about teaching, okay? I thought I was the big, wise guy now and carried on, but I must express my appreciation to Atti. If he didn't sort of pull me apart there a little bit and sorted me out, and then later on, Paul Ellis, what I learned at Muir College about values, about tradition, about camaraderie, about teamwork was amazing, okay? And it had a major impact on my life. And I still remain in contact with later pupils after you guys. One of my special friends today, Paul Kaplan, I don't know, you might have heard of him, etc. His dad was the doctor. Robert Blichnout, Alan Bernstein that came later on. He became our greenkeeper here on the Golf Estate that I live. All of them are still in contact, and of course, probably one of the naughtiest kids I ever taught golf right, okay? We still remain in contact, okay? And Jono, I must share with them, now every article that I had to write about rugby or cricket or whatever, I had to go screen past Jonathan first for all the grammar and spelling errors, okay? He was through and through there, okay? So for me, I nearly caught the bus to another place the end of last year when I suddenly developed a heart problem, but after about 3 months of this surgery, that surgery, whatever, I'm okay now. I still play golf. I lie if I say I'm trying to keep fit because I'm too lazy to do that at the moment. As I said to you guys, I lost Esme in 2017, which left me a little bit stranded. But I think it's life experiences, that we all have to go through and live through, okay? Thank you for giving me this opportunity to share and talk to you guys. And to me, I want to leave you just with one little story when I was still in Brandwach, okay? I went to town all the way there, past McGuinness Park, if you walk down to town. And there came the borders, okay? And I think you guys used to call it a crocodile. When you had to go to town, you had to all walk in a straight line next to each other. And what were those things that were called cheese cutters that you had on your head? And I was walking down the town, and here's this crocodile coming from the boarding house on the way to town. And at that same moment, a funeral procession came down the road. And it must have been the prefect or something, but he stopped the crocodile. He made them turn and face the road, and they all took that and put it on their chest, okay? And it's things and traditions like that which become part and parcel of your life, which is more than teaching. It's education. It's a refinement. And that will always remain with me. And for that, I'll say thank you. And thanks for joining you today. Have a lovely day.
Thank you, Peter. That was great.
Thanks, Peter. Good luck.
Yeah, I can just think, Peter, just one quick story. I think in your time that you put up, what was it, trampoline there at the gym. It was for some other day that we had it. And then you forced poor Dino to go onto the trampoline, and he decided to do a summy onto the side of the trampoline. I don't know if you can remember that. It was almost hospital case at that stage.
I almost killed myself, but anyway, remember it well.
May I just add one thing to what Peter just said? You know, there's a famous expression, I believe it comes from Africa, that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together.
Yeah.
I think that sort of summarizes so much of our experience at Muir College, was that we had to be a team to succeed. And I particularly want to thank Alan Whitehead. He and I took several long vacations, road trips together. And I have one very vivid recollection of Alan rescuing us on the back of the Kariba Dam. I was fighting off the mosquitoes, and Alan was underneath the Triumph 2000 replacing the CV joints. That's Alan. Alan could do anything. And if you want to have a successful trip, take Alan Whitehead with you. He can fix anything.
Right, guys, I want to run. Then I want to ask our local teachers, the ones that are here with us. I think Jonathan is on the screen more or less. Oh, no, it was. Just move your head a bit there, Jonathan. You see yourself coming from...
Ashley, could you put everyone on screen? Because we want to record this, or we are in the process of recording this. Hopefully there are no objections to us recording this session, because I'd like to send you each a copy afterwards.
Yeah, okay, yes.
So if you can come mid-screen when you're on, that's great. That's good.
Hey, Professor Osser, you look impressive, eh?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I haven't got much to say, but
Jonathan, sorry to interrupt. Could you move across slightly? You're mid-screen now, so if you can move your chair or whatever you're sitting on to the, we can only see this one piece of you there. That's good. That will work.
Okay. All right.
A little bit more. There we go. That's perfect.
There we are.
I remember when I think back to about 50 years ago, seeing you guys leaving Muir for the last time, going through those gates, which incidentally aren't there anymore. They've gradually been nationalized over the years. Little did I think that I'd see you, or some of you, again in 50 years' time. So I'm very grateful for that privilege. I don't want to tell you anything more about myself because I wrote it in an article that must have been published by Dino somewhere along the line. You've all read about my sad story. What I want to use this little bit of time for is to tell you that I was in the fortunate position being invited by another matric group, the 1976 group, to join them in a WhatsApp group that they'd started. They didn't have anything fancy like Zoom or Meeting or whatever it is. So that still doesn't take place, but they've got this WhatsApp group that's been going for years now. And I see that you've just started one. And I hope that this will continue. We use the group for a little bit of bantering, a little bit of reminiscing. There are a lot of fundies that have come to the surface in their respective fields, and it's always interesting to hear what they've got to say. These armchair economists and a medic or two. We also use the WhatsApp for exchanging jokes, and I was pleased to see that Graham X started that ball rolling. Was it yesterday or the day before? Of course, with me in the mix, those jokes aren't always particularly clean, but they do serve a purpose of entertaining people or annoying them, one or the other. All right. The one thing I want to caution you guys about, though, at an early stage, this WhatsApp group was started by Delvin from Mark. I don't know if you remember him. He died not so long ago. But all along the line, there have been arguments. People getting their knickers in a knot about certain things, and okay, they do know a lot about certain matters, and they first starts off with them correcting each other, and then it turns into a full-blown fight. Some of the issues have been the COVID issue, and another one was the Trump versus Biden thing, and one or two other issues. And people get so hot under the collar that they actually remove themselves from the group. So we're down to about a dozen now. From an original class of, what was it, about 40 odd. We couldn't trace all of them, of course, but the few that remained have gradually been whittled down. Some have died, unfortunately, but unfortunately now there have been a few that get themselves into a huff and they remove themselves from the group. So I just want to appeal to you guys that if you get this thing going, please keep it uncontroversial and don't upset one another. Remember, at our age, we get upset very easily. So keep calm. And that's all I have to say to you guys. Nice seeing you again. And I hope you all keep well. Bless you.
Okay, thank you very much. I was going to ask if you just keep this as the hot chair for now.
Okay.
Yeah, Charles now comes into this and you can take his chair.
All right.
Favorite musical chairs. But it's just much easier. I know it's difficult for us to get up.
I have a brief anecdote for Mr. Osher there. Is Peter Mann and myself in NC Dugmore House used to share a room, and we weren't permitted radios. But of course, Peter had a radio, and we used it at night. And I wired the series with a battery right around to the front door and put a switch on the front door. So Mr. Osher used to come down the passage. You could hear this radio. You could hear it. And ours was a room with a door. The others didn't have. And then he'd open up the door and he'd have a look, and the radio would be off. And then he'd close the door and he'd walk away and then he'd open the door again. So it was a joke there. So Peter Mann and myself used to really like that. So thank you, Mr. Osher.
Thanks for that, Alan. That's great. Now we know why you became an engineer. Oh, did you as well? So, okay, Charles will be next in the hot seat, okay?
Wow, I didn't know it was that hot. Right.
Right. Yeah, now we got it in the middle, yes.
Very good.
Okay, well, let me say first of all, hi, Rory.
Hi, Charles. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you again. And everybody else. But Rory, I was telling this story at home, I think yesterday, about I've seen Marie and Rory on one occasion. If you'll just permit a bit of an anecdote of it. But well, anyway, before I go into that one, can I just say also that I, like Jonathan, I feel very privileged to have been invited to join your group for your special occasion. And I think I knew you for about 2 years, because I left at the end of 1971. But it hasn't been difficult to recognize people, even you, Alex. I remember your sort of very mischievous look that you always had on your face in the Muir hostel, believe it or not. But anyway, it's great to be able to communicate with you, and I do feel honored to be joining you here this morning. Sorry, this evening, I think, was a late night there. Dean?
Yeah.
And Rory having to get up rather early this morning as well in the US. Anyway, Auntie Marie is obviously your headmaster all the way through your 5 years. And he was a bit of a new broom, sweeping clean, you know. And one of the things that he insisted on is that we were to wear our jackets buttoned in the middle button fastened, and we were to wear suits. And gentlemen, it would be unprofessional to appear in town in shorts. So of course we didn't, we couldn't wear any fancy clothing or have Peter Clutter style hairstyles or anything like that, as they were at the time. But one day, Rory appeared at school in, I think it was a pink shirt. Do you remember that, Rory?
Yes, a sand pink shirt, yeah.
That's right. And it didn't take very long before Rory was summoned to the headmaster's office to explain why he was wearing a pink shirt. Rory explained that that was actually the only shirt that he actually had to wear on that particular occasion, given the laundry arrangements at NC Dugmore House. And he added, and I thought, Mr. Marie, that it would be better for me to wear a pink shirt than to appear at school wearing no shirt at all. So I think that, yeah, perhaps you remember that, Rory.
Yeah, I do. I was sent back and had to haul a white shirt out of the wash.
Well, so you weren't allowed to continue wearing it. Well, I don't know whether this was in 1970 or 1971, but at the end of 1970, when the boys had left school, so it's the rest of you had all gone, you'd finished your exams, and there were just a few of us left. Well, the staff were there to finish, the books, the green books, the marking, and all the bit of the admin that we had to do. And so I decided that I'd wear my rose blazer, and which I did. And before long, I was summoned to the office to explain why I was wearing a sports blazer. So I said, well, the boys aren't here, and they won't be shocked. There's no boys to be shocked to see my sports blazer. And the thing is that I got very hot under the collar. I actually got annoyed, and in the course of conversation, I said, well, this is the university we both went to, and I'm not ashamed to wear my university colours to school. And anyway, it didn't help at all. I got very annoyed, actually, and I'm afraid I showed it. And I even heard myself saying, well, really, Mr. Muir, this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. And I thought, did I really say that? And I thought, well, that's the end of my teaching career. I'm out of here. He's going to report me and I'm gone. But he didn't say a thing, just like he didn't do anything. He didn't appear that early Monday morning when the tow truck was delivering a defunct Mini onto road level right outside Auntie Marie's flat, making a really awful clanking noise. Now, speaking of that, Peter, Olwen and Swart visited us this last Saturday. We haven't seen one another for years. And it was wonderful that Margaret and I, my wife Margaret and I, could actually have Peter and Olwen around. And I suppose the years taking their toll one way or the other, but they're jolly good to see them. They seem to be in good health and so on. And I think Peter sent his best wishes as well. And I'd like to, well, as you know, I'm retired by now. If you want to know anything more, you can have a look at the commemorative booklet. I'm also not going to say anything that I haven't already said. But what I would like to say is how interested I was to see what diverse careers you have all followed since leaving school. Adventurous, out of the ordinary, and I was really quite taken by what everybody had been doing, and sort of being fairly quiet about it. So I suppose we all more or less in our retirement phase at this stage, and I just want to wish you all the very, very best going forward. And as Jonathan said, keep in touch. And thank you very much once again for inviting me to come along and giving me the opportunity to be able to see some still fairly familiar faces, although they have changed somewhat, like I think we all have. And so thank you very much again, and Rory, all the best to you for your further recovery. And
thank you, Charles.
And Dean, thank you for all your reminders and all your tutoring and organisation from your side on the far side of the world. Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Charles. Now it's the last of our resident teachers that we've got here, Alan Whitehead, as you know, in Farmer. I mean, I would never say that. I mean, that was spoken quietly, never to his face.
Ashley, could I just jump in?
Out there, lovely to be able to reminisce about the old days and to see you all again. Great stuff there. Thanks to Dean for all he has done. We've heard quite a few stories about Ati. I'll save that for last if there's time. But many of my reminiscing is about what we as teachers did. I don't think it happened in the Auntie Marie's time, but perhaps afterwards. But what prompted me to remember this story was the picture that Dean posted of the stairs leading up to the stage where the teachers sat during assembly. And on one occasion, there was a young lady that was in front of Paul Ellis, the then headmaster, and Tom Ferreira was walking behind. So Tom put his hand past Paul Ellis and he pinched the young lady on the bottom. So the young lady turned around and looked straight into Paul Ellis's face. I don't know what it was, but it took long time for Tom to get past that little choke. Fortunately, the little lady was quite good about that one. Good to see Rory's face there again. I can remember talking a little bit about Otti in the staff room. You know, Rory was famous for his words, and we sometimes in the staff room, the conversation would tend to drift in the wrong direction, and Rory would say, "Oh, the conversation in the staff room had reached an all-time low." But on one occasion, Roy Simpson, we were busy lining up for tea, and there at the little table, the counter, and Rory was particularly unhappy about something that Otti had done. So Roy Simpson said to him, "Rory, you can't fart against thunder." So Rory just quickly, as quick as a flash, responded, "Yeah, you can't thunder against the fart." Yeah, the borders. You know, I used to run a scientific society at times, and other societies externally, and the borders were a bit of a problem because they wanted to get out of prep, so they used to come in their wards down to the science lab, the so-called attend the scientific society. But okay, all in good fun and what have you. And eventually, we managed to get some guys started on various careers, I think, as a result of the activities of that society. Okay, there's somebody joining.
No, that is Dean calling me. Sorry, Dean, you're coming through on the computer here.
All right.
Actually, we've got 60 minutes coming up soon. I don't want to interrupt, Alan. Just keep going. If we get cut off at the 60-minute mark, which is about another minute to go, we'll have to come back in the part 2 meeting. So, but keep going.
Okay, I haven't said much about myself. I did record in the notes that Dean published there. I'm still farming. I'm fairly active and I'm enjoying good health. So, I'm really fortunate for that. How many minutes did he say?
We've got about, I don't know when they came on, but it should be about another 3-4 minutes.
Okay, no, all right, fine. You know, in the stories regarding the boys, I see John Haysom is here and Des Wood, I think, is on frequency. I remember an occasion in the prep room at evening time, we were busy having prep, and Otti decided that he would check on this young teacher, I think, and he would spend some time in the garden looking through the windows. And he then came in there and called out Desmond Wood, I think, and John Haysom and 1 or 2 others. He said, "No, you guys have been doing something wrong in the prep room." Took them out and gave them a hiding, sent them back. Well, that had a repercussion the next day, because the next day I told Rory I wasn't taking this nonsense from Otti. So I went into Otti's office the next morning and put on my sternest show I could. I grabbed his desk and I put my fist on his desk and I said to him, "I'm not having this. If he doesn't respect my authority in prep, then I'm out." So Otti didn't respond anyway, but I gave him a good piece of my mind and I left, and he never worried me again from that day on. In retrospect, in my older age, I think I understand why. He was probably difficult to find maths teachers at that time, so Otti thought he said, "You better just cool it a little bit." That was the story there. And I see Charles is here. Charles Van Heren is also here today. I have fond memories of our time in our school. You know, we used to set papers late at night, science higher grade, maths higher grade, lower grade, all those things. And they were very often done late at night because we had to do other things on our social calendar as well. And so there was a lot of cutting and pasting, as you guys would call it today, but we had other means of doing that. So those who could predict, forecast the kind of questions that were coming up often did quite well. Yes, okay, and then you're prodding me in the minor of my hobby that I did even in those days. I used to delve into electronics. I still do. I do quite a lot of electronics at the moment, playing with microprocessors and programming microprocessors to do various jobs. particularly in the ham radio fraternity where I spend a lot of my time. What else? Thanks, Dean, for all you've done, and thanks you guys for listening. Peter is out there, I see. Peter, I remember our tour to Zimbabwe very well. I see you smiling. I remember all the things we got up to there, but you can't say too much about that. Thanks, Alan.
Alan, I was in your maths class, and we started the Radio Society with you, and we built a little manual computer. We started building it up. So yes, I remember that TV.
Yeah, you know that one of those boys in that group was now Professor Justin Jonas. Justin was instrumental in establishing the radio observatory, what they call the SKA, the Square Kilometre Array, and Justin's interest in that field originates from some of my extramural activities.
Yes,
so
I studied electronics as well, and used it for the rest of my life. Yes, thank you.
Okay, Dean, do you think it's best if we go out quickly then and come in again on the new one?
Yes, it's showing 1 hour and 3 minutes on my screen, and we're still going strong here. So I suggest that if we all of a sudden cut off, then we come back in the part 2. Okay. Let's keep going in this one. Right. It seems to be working. I don't know why they say it's 60 minutes max, but it's still going, so let's use it.
Right, then can we carry on now with our visitors from outside? So as I see you guys on the screen, the next one will then be Andy. Andy, over to you. Let's say a few words to this esteemed group of people.
Thanks a lot, and nice to see you all again. It's amazing. You may recall my twin brother Benny and we joined you only in Standard 8. And we came from Marist Brothers. When the boarding school closed at Marist, we came to be day boarders at Muir because the family actually lived in Uitenhage. So when we arrived, Ati immediately put both my brother and I into class 8C, which didn't really please me very much. But what's worse, he said to us, when subject choices, maths, science, biology is what I chose. And he said, no, neither of you are smart enough to do all 3. You have to pick 2 out of the 3. So I chose, fortunately for me, maths and science, because not knowing then, but I would use science a lot later on. I think one of the reasons why he said that, because he wanted us to fill the woodwork class. But my brother and I, for our 6th subject, then had to choose woodwork, which was also great, and I've still got some furniture that I made. So that was our entrance into Muir. Unfortunately, the year or 2 later, I got to 9A and 10A. And then decided, like most of you, funny enough, which is quite different to most of the country at the time, I noticed from your histories that you mostly all did army first before university, for those who went to varsity. And that's what I did as well, because I wasn't quite sure what to do. So while I was at university, I had to decide between... I thought, okay, I'll apply for pharmacy at Rhodes, just being up the road. And then speaking to Dougie Abrams, who was one of my great friends at school, and his father, as you know, was a dentist, and he interested me in applying for dentistry at Wits. So I applied for both, and when I came out of the army, it was quite late, 6th of January the following year. The war started in Angola. I had to make a decision what I wanted to do. And as soon as I got home, I saw a letter of acceptance from Rhodes. I got a scholarship to go to Rhodes, 150 Rand bursary. And not having any significant funds in the family, I thought, well, that's a done deal. I'm going to accept pharmacy at Rhodes because of the bursary. And then 3 days later, I got another letter in the post. It was 500 Rand bursary to go to Wits. So it was a no-brainer that I would choose to go do dentistry at Wits. And it was a great choice. I went to stay in men's res there for 5 years, 5.5 years, until I graduated and married, met my wife, Alison, and we moved down to Cape Town, where I started my dental practice. And I'm still in the same practice now 40 years, and it's going very strong. I've got a lot of dentists working for me, and I've cut my own work days down. I'm working 3 days a week, and then I do management for some of the other days. And I can carry on doing that for the next 10 years or so, I guess. It keeps me busy, and I really enjoy it. And we love Cape Town. Many of my colleagues at WITS emigrated. 90% of the class emigrated when we graduated. And I decided to stay, to give back, because I loved South Africa, and I was grateful for the opportunity to be able to study here. I was grateful for the bursaries I received, and it turned out to be a really great choice. Cape Town's wonderful, and we have a really good lifestyle here. Yeah, that's the academic side. And then just, I remember James, seeing you there in the center screen, James Bosman. James and I, we used to vie for the hooker position in the first rugby team. Not so, James? and I still remember that all the time. Between you and me, it was on and off who's going to be the first team hooker. And I think at the end you prevailed. But there we go. It was good times, the rugby, and I have fond memories of that. When it comes to Peter Kluter, I remember going to the gym in 8C already, and not being the most athletic of the students. The obstacle courses were quite tough. And I remember cracking a joke with him one day. I think I was actually quite serious, and I said, one day you're going to set a course for us that's going to suit me, and I'm going to come first. Of course, he cracked up laughing. That was never going to happen. Anyway, it's great to see you all, and to see you all doing well. I'm physically very well. I still cycle the Cape Town Cycle Tour every year, and try and stay in good health. And I wish you all the same. Sorry I can't be there to join you. I had all intention to do so, but we're doing major home renovations, and I just couldn't get away. So for you guys there, enjoy the sports and the camaraderie together. It's very special. Thank you.
Thanks, Andy. With renovations, all I can say is you've got my condolences. I know it. Even the wife got out.
Thank you.
On the other side, then you've made it. Dean, can I ask you to carry on? You in my screen, the next one.
Okay. Okay, I've unmuted. Yeah, thanks, Ash. Yeah, I won't say too much about myself and what I'm doing now. I think that's all in the commemorative booklet. So if you've read that, then you'll know what I've been up to. I'd just like to give thanks to our Heavenly Father for giving us this opportunity. A few people have mentioned that this is quite a special occasion, and I think, you know, we're all getting on, and who knows whether we'll be when 55 and 60 years comes up, but you know, so it is special, and I'm really happy that we could come together in this way. The world has changed a lot. We live in uncertain times, and I think our successes have come in many forms, and we find ourselves in all these different parts of the world, South Africa and also other parts. 1974 was a great year, obviously, because we were all in our school leaving year, but other things that were happening at the time. Muhammad Ali beat George Foreman in the Rumble in the Jungle, and I'm sure we all remember that. The Invincibles, British and Irish Lions, toured South Africa without losing a match. Willie John McBride visited our school. I think we all remember that happening. And Sundown, Gordon Lightfoot topped the hit parade in August of 1974. And it was the year when the Sting movie was the best Oscars. It won the best picture award at the Oscars. We were all teenagers, and some of you were just young teachers, as you've reflected on before. So yeah, we were all starting out in different ways. We were finishing school, and you were starting out as young teachers, and you did look very different then, and I'm sure we did. So 50 years, long time. You know, we've seen in the commemorative booklet all the achievements, and I think I want to just say well done to everyone. Someone else I think, Charles, you were the one who said earlier that it was interesting to see what everyone has done with their lives. And I just want to congratulate everyone on their achievements, family life, careers, business and sporting achievements. I was really amazed at some of the things that I was reading about there. So well done, everyone. The role that Muir played in our lives, I think we all reflect on that, and I think it did shape the foundational life skills that we have, the values and principles that we all got a grip on in our formative teenage years. We might not have liked some of it at the time, but we certainly, looking back, it did make a difference. And we should salute our parents, the teachers, you guys who put up with us and helped to mold us and shape us in terms of our characters. And also fellow classmates. I believe everyone plays a part in shaping the characters of fellow human beings in the course of what they do even at school. So some of the values that come to mind are being proud of our heritage and our roots, acting with integrity and humility in our interactions with others, and showing respect. And I think we've heard some examples of that, especially for older people. Now, we fit into that category at the moment, so hopefully we are receiving the kind of respect that we deserve at our age. So you've seen me sipping wine here, so I know you can't do that right now, but a toast to all of you who've made a difference in our lives. So, yeah, guys, you can have one later. I will toast all of you now, and thank you for the role that you've played. Then just to finish, sorry, to the Muir and you guys, thanks for the memories, the happy hours, the careless days, and those who went before us. May they linger in our thoughts always. So let's keep the Muir spirit alive. As Jonathan Osher said, let's keep this thing going. Nec pluribus impar. Thank you.
Thank you, Dino, and thanks for all your assistance. I didn't volunteer for being class rep. This happened in 2022. It was only myself and Mark Waits here initially until James joined us. And I was just the guy that they grabbed and said, listen, are you class of 74? I said, yes. And they said, oh, we haven't got a class rep, so here you go. So, yeah, but thanks for your assistance. The next guy is Peter Van Lofty.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Yeah, it's really great to be able to meet up like this. And I'd particularly like to thank Dino and Ashley for having managed to pull it all together, and with other people who I might not mention. As Dino said, my life story was in that little booklet. Explains everything. I'd also like to thank the teachers, the likes of Rory Douglas, Farmer Brown, not Farmer Brown, but Farmer Whitehead, we used to call him. And the likes of Bounce King and Neil Hall, our English teachers as well. We went through quite a few, I seem to remember. It was great. You chaps helped me on my way. In the sciences and the way I focused my life. And it was really, really great. And as Dino said as well, our values and principles were forged at Muir College. I felt that. It was really great. Boarding school wasn't the greatest. I'll admit that. Some people say it's the greatest years of their lives. Well, I can't say that was the case for me. Ati was a tough cookie. And I think we can remember getting a few canings from him. I even remember, Alan, you getting a good caning. I think you upset Lynn Gull on one occasion.
Yeah.
And Alan was the perfect guy, a student who never did anything wrong. So when he was hauled off for a caning, that was quite a shock. But it's really great being able to chat to you guys and to see you guys. And once again, thanks to everyone. Tom Bowler, Tom Ferreira. I think he's stood me and a lot of the guys in good stead. So I'm still a keen woodworker. So that was learned a lot, and I learned a lot from the teachers. Rory as well, you stick quite a lot in my mind. I remember you giving me a Bible on one occasion when when we were with the SCA. Do you recall running the SCA?
I do very clearly. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you guys have all helped us along the way.
Thank you, Peter.
Anyway, I won't carry on yakking too much, but it was great meeting up, and I hope that we can continue to communicate. I was very interested to hear, I was saddened to hear about Tick Kingwell. At some stage, maybe someone could say what happened to Tick, to Timothy Kingwell. It was saddened to see a few people not with us. But anyway, I wish you all the best, and thank you everybody for enabling us to meet up like this.
Lofty, thanks a lot. It's great that we found you. You were also initially one of the lost souls, and we found you. That was great. And also, Alan, we also found you. So you're up next.
Oh, okay. Quick few bullet points. Yeah, we moved to Plettenberg Bay when I was about 6 years old. The school there, junior school, only had 2 rooms. One was for sub A, sub B, standard 1, standard 2, standard 3, with 1 teacher, and the other room was for standard 3, 4, and 5 was in the other room with the other teacher that was the headmaster. That was the sum total of the school. And one of the subjects was gardening. We used to go outside, you had a little patch there, and you used to have to hoe it and plant your beans and water it and stuff. So it was a really, really small school. Yeah, then I went to boarding school in Muir because there was no high school in Plet. Peter Mann, he was from Plet as well. His mom and my mom were quite good friends, both in the estate, real estate industry there in Plet, booming in those days. Yeah, so I went to boarding school at Muir, and in that I only missed 2 days of school in the entire time because my parents needed to get out or something, so it wasn't even sick. My sister Anita, she went to Riebeek College as well, boarding school at the same time. After that, went to the call-up 2 years of defense to the Air Force, 75 and 76. I spent quite a lot of time up at the border in Southwest Africa and Namibia, second lieutenant in radar. That again was the electronics background from Alan Whitehead, thank you. Then I went to Stellenbosch for 5 years. I did B engineering electronics. I followed that. And yeah, that was the best electronics faculty in South Africa at the time, even though it was an Afrikaans university. So it was quite strange. Our exam papers were written in Afrikaans, but you could answer in either English or Afrikaans. It didn't matter. So, of course, the textbooks were English, except one was Afrikaans. So you often write your answer, the beginning of the sentence is in English and the end of the sentence is in Afrikaans. But they got it, you still got your marks for it. And that still stays with me today. I'm totally bilingual, including a bit of Spanish. Then after that, I went to Pretoria for 2 months, then moved to Cape Town and married my wife Kathy in 1984. So we moved to Australia in 2007, and we're Australian citizens now, based in Melbourne. Got 2 children and 2 grandchildren, and we're still here. We're citizens over here. And I retired about a few weeks ago. We did actually just come back from a 6-week road trip from here in Melbourne to far north Queensland in my Holden V8, nice 6.2 litre V8. Uses a lot of juice, but juice isn't expensive here compared to South Africa, so it's quite nice. That was 6 weeks right up there. It was 8,500 kilometers in 6 weeks. It was very nice. That's basically a nutshell of that. Some anecdotes is I did the Falcon Fly. I assume most people did it in 1973. I did mine in 1974, and that set me up well for the Defence Force. Yes, at school, I didn't do sport, rugby or cricket, so I'm not a really sporting type. Peter and I played squash in the new NC Dugmore squash court. Remember that cement court? Heavy on balls because it wasn't plastered or anything. It was very heavy on rackets and balls in those days. So instead of doing a sport, I took over the tuck shop, and I actually had the keys on Saturdays. I used to run the tuck shop up at the sports grounds, and I actually had the keys to get into the tuck shop and into the office and into the headmaster's office and into the safe to go and fetch the till and the change box and things. And I used to pack all the cool drinks into the combi. I had the keys to the combi, underage, and I used to drive the combi to the sports fields, which is about 3 kilometers away, unpack it and bring it back. So I actually was driving in Pietermaritzburg Bay at the age of 13 with the knowledge of the police, the cops, and permitted to do so. In fact, I was driving a heavy-duty truck when I was 14 odd years old. And in the army, I actually had my army extra heavy-duty license at 17, a double trailer, class F, I think they called it. Anyway, so I commute that to Australia, but yeah. English teacher, Digby Crank. I think there was a few people that mentioned him. I remember him very clearly. In Tuesdays, he was with his, I'm getting to that. On Tuesday, he used to tell us about this new air-controlled aircraft he's going to build. And on Wednesday, he used to discuss his 2 red-setted dogs, okay, in detail. Then on Thursday, we actually did a bit of work. And then if you didn't do your homework, you used to walk around with a stapler and staple your ear. You used to put your hand up at the back against the pegboard, and you used to throw dividers right across the room and land it between your hands. And you weren't allowed to flinch. If you flinched, then you did it again. And then on Friday, he used to tell us how close he is to getting his radio-controlled aircraft going. And then on Monday, which is why I skipped Monday, he told us how he crashed his aircraft. And then on Tuesday, about his new aircraft. Wednesday was the dog. Thursday was work. Friday, his plane was nearly ready. Monday, how it crashed. That was it. Is he still around? I don't know, actually. I think he was related to the headmaster in some way. I think he was a cousin or something. And Garth Wright. We mentioned Garth Wright. Garth actually lived in Cape Town, very close to where we were, in Cape Town, in Aurora. His daughters, he had 3 daughters, and my daughter were in the same school together. So we were actually quite close friends, and they were in our house, and we were in their house many times with his wife. And then they got divorced, and Garth then moved back to Port Elizabeth. But yeah, Garth used to go to his place for Barbies. He used to come to our place. So I know Garth quite well and his family.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. Sorry to interrupt. Now you talk about Garth. I was just going to say earlier, Charlie Wright was in our class in 8C, Garth's older brother.
Yeah.
And because someone mentioned Garth earlier too, and Charlie was my best friend then in 8C. And I was at his house. Garth was only 9 years old. And they were expecting a younger brother, and the dad just came back from the hospital and came back, and Charlie and Trevor and Garth, that's the 3 brothers, were at home, and I was there, and the dad came back and he says, "It's another bloody hosepipe." So that's their fourth child. It's also a boy. So I'm very happy to hear that Garth actually ended up having 3 girls for the grandfather.
Good-looking girls too, all of them. Yeah.
Good to know. Yeah. So it's fond memories of that. Sorry, I interrupted. I didn't mean to.
No, just the last thing. My career, actually, I studied electronics. After that, I did research and development, programming microprocessors. Then moved into project management, technical director for Spectrum in Cape Town. Then when we moved to Australia, I was actually a project director at Rubicon Water, and I did a lot of world travel. I ended up being a business development manager and set up the company in a number of countries. It's going to a country clean and setting up the offices, people, attenders and everything. That was New Zealand, in South Island, then America, we spent time there, then Portugal, Spain, southern France, Italy, a couple of years there, and then went to Chile, Argentina, Peru, Costa Rica. So I got around. And I ended up being operations manager for Hitachi Energy in Australia, doing these grid-connected batteries. That's what we do. But I resigned a few weeks ago, and just started off retirement. Now I do scale modeling which is quite a nice hobby. Doing some really, really nice scale modeling. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
That's amazing.
That was great to hear from you. And now the next person there that I can see is Alex. You done in East London, Alex? I think we see you on tomorrow evening again.
Yeah, you're on mute.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you clearly.
Yes, Dean, I hope to see some of the guys at dinner tomorrow evening. Yes, I'm in the vicinity of East London, just on the PE side of East London, in a little seaside village. And I retired took a package about 3 years ago. I was working for a battery manufacturing company here in town. And the last 26 years, that's what I was doing in the technical side. Prior to that, I tried my hand at farming a little bit. And then prior to that, I was with Johnson & Johnson. So basically in the mechanical engineering side, after having, and the first job was at Goodyear in Uitenhage. And that was after having done my army. So yeah, I got married, and the ex didn't enjoy the farming life, so we came back to the city, and then got divorced. And I have 3 children, 2 of them, one's in St. Francis, one's in Port Elizabeth, and one's in Italy, and 1 grandson. Yeah, so I don't have very much to say. I actually sort of half feel bad belonging to this crowd in terms of I did a 2-year Standard 9 course. So next year is actually my 50th reunion with the 75 class. And yeah, the guys have also got quite a good WhatsApp group going, so there's plenty of banter going along around on that channel. But yeah, I've got one particular story that I have to relate, and that was a science class in Neil Hall's class. We just filed into the class, and I put my bag down. Don't remember all the details, but classmate of mine just gently tapped me in my chest, and I flipped, and I bopped him on the nose, and the blood just went flying. Now this oak was like 3 times my size. It was like David and Goliath type of thing, and I was so shit scared that he was going to kill me. That's Dino, you. You remember it?
I don't actually. You're saying you bopped me.
I bopped you on the nose. It was a smackaroo of a shot.
I don't remember it.
The blood just went flying.
I don't remember. Couldn't have been that bad then.
That's one sort of... That's one thing that I remember. And Rory, I remember that triumph for yours.
Oh, the triumph, yeah.
Yeah. You enjoyed your triumph.
It was my pride and joy.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'll see you guys tomorrow evening, or some of you guys tomorrow evening.
Okay, listen, Dino, can I just quickly, are you finished, Alex? Sorry, we just had yeah. Thanks a lot, we see you tomorrow. I saw Leon Rousseau was on, but when I try to go down, I see he's waiting to be allowed.
Dougie.
Can you just check that? But in the meantime, Graham, can you carry on, please?
I'm contacting. I'm not seeing anything on my screen. Are you able to let him in? Are you able to let him in from there, or Graham?
You next online first. Hello.
Sorry, I think that was my name. I'm not.
Yes, that's you, Graham.
And I'm in my truck. It's great to speak with you and see all of you. I remember. I mean, I did a lot of work in the tuck shop at Muir. I think I had a lot of extra privileges, like leaving the class early.
Yeah.
Before, coming back late, and everybody lining up in the quad hydrant there, and I would walk past, go to his office, and give the cash back and put it in the safe. I look at everybody and the achievements everybody's had, and I think all our teachers and all of you, I guess in each in individual way, kind of formed all of us to what we currently do. My line was more in. I went into sales, did sales and management, and marketing diploma at Damelin College in Johannesburg. I didn't stay in the Utenhage area. I met my wife up north, and we got married in 1980. We have 3 children. I have 3 grandsons, and I have 2 of them are in South Africa. One is in Canada with us, and in 2001 we immigrated to Canada. One thing, I don't have to look over my shoulder when I go outside. But anyway, I look at some of you. I got into running back in South Africa. I was 38 years old when I started running, and I enjoyed running. The comrades, a number of times. I got a silver medal there once in '97. And I think I don't run that much now. I do go out occasionally, but I'll go 5K. But I was looking at Peter. I see you comrades. The record shows that you just missed your silver in '97.
Yeah. Yep. That was when I was young and mobile. Yeah, but enjoyed running comrades and the doozies as well. Yeah.
Yeah. I did a lot of running up in Pretoria. Living up in Kempton Park at that time, I used to go up to Pretoria, and a lot of the runs there, with Bam, that a number of times, the 2 Oceans a couple of times, the Buffalo Marathon in East London. Actually, that's where I had my PB. I guess when I was at Muir, I did a bit of cross country running. Not a lot. I played hockey there. I don't maybe you remember badminton. We started badminton with the Neil Hoare actually started, and I enjoyed it. Played a bit of squash as well. I actually played badminton up until a few years ago. I still playing badminton. Actually, when I left Muir, I went to play badminton in Port Elizabeth in the league. Quite enjoyed that. That was great fun. But I thank all of you for being here and being a part of this. I really thought much about doing things after, with all my schoolmates, but it's great to see you, and I hope we can carry on and spend a bit of time maybe getting to know each other a little bit more about what we do. Now that some of us are in retirement, I travel around America and Canada quite a bit. I've been to 43 of the states in the US and 6 of provinces in Canada. I get around, but I'm actually in North Dakota right now. So this is Central Time, so